All right, let's get started. Happy to be back. Another weekly watch list. Hope you guys having a fantastic day so far and enjoying your long weekend, right? And happy to be back. Another Sunday. Um, and this is gonna be like Sunday. I know tomorrow market is closed, but we always do that Sunday. We don't do Monday. I mean, on the closing or holiday kind of thing. I guess that's how I schedule things, and it's a lot easier. Uh, yeah. So last week it was kind of in this gray area because of what will going to happen with the US default deal, which as you guys can see in the screen, these two guys are you know going back and forth trying to figure out um, what kind of deal they're gonna put us on the table for the American people. Um, and I think eventually today, finally agree on the deal. Obviously, this was kind of like an idea of like holding everything at the last minute, because based on the Treasury report, U.S. will was gonna run out of the money by the June 5th, which would be next week. So these two gentlemen, they decided to just kind of like hold it until last moment, and that could obviously that created a lot of consequences, and lots of people struggle, lots of companies, lots of corporations, lots of businesses, they are dependent on this thing, and eventually they kind of like set it up. This is a big news for the upcoming week, obviously. But how this affect the last week? Pretty much everything was on these consolidation phase, and not a lot of crazy stuff. Um, but obviously, we will see more. We're gonna have some sort of activity again, but don't expect too much, because I mean, this is a very big deal. This is a very big deal. This cycle will change, although it is summertime. Summertime, relatively known as like things will be slower. But this summer is different than any other summer. So we have this USD fall. We have all these stuff going on. So this is probably going to be the biggest news of the year, I guess, if they want to kind of call it that, so far. Yeah, and that will, this deal will definitely drive the price higher, create a bullishness in the market. So be ready for that. Take advantage of the opportunities that can create from this news, and just don't have an idea. I mean, obviously, what are we trading is not based on macro too much, because all these small caps are these manipulative companies, these bunch of garbage companies that we're trading. They don't really run by the macro, but it's always good to understand what's going on in the market. I mean, I always say that what's going on with the market, what has happening in the overall market, and you know if you want to kind of learn more fundamental, get into like larger cap stocks, I mean, it's always good to use that. And it's also effective in a small cap market. So that's not necessarily directly affect as much, because we're an active trader. We're just day trade. We're down for a day. We don't really mess around with what's going to happen in the future. But it's good to know your economy, right? To understand what's going to happen. That based on that, that where are the traps going to be? What are the stuff that will happen? I mean, you kind of like it helps you to be a good risk manager, to adjust your risk management and all that. So you don't necessarily go all in when the overall market is everyone's are stepping back. They don't put so much, and you go all in. So it's just you want to kind of like make sure that you're not either following the crowd, and you're not also like a lone wolf in the middle of ocean, and don't know what to do. So yeah, that's kind of the idea of how to put things in together. But beside that, I think that's gonna be our major headline for the upcoming week. So let's see how this goes. It's gonna be a short week. Keep that in mind. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's all. So it's not gonna be a lot of excitements probably, but yeah. Other than that, let's get us started to our watch list. But before that, as always, this is not a financial advice. It's only for educational purposes. If you like it, sit down, watch it. If you don't like it, turn it off. Go watch some cartoons or whatever. So we had pretty much, I put a bunch of back pocket list, because I really couldn't get to this week. The last week was kind of like in this kind of like a limbo looking that I wasn't really excited about all these stickers that I was running. It wasn't something really crazy, not that I like too much, but I put a top one on two main front pocket list. And first, I'm gonna start with Elev, ELEV. ELEV was a Friday runner, a Thursday after our runner, gap up. Uh, VWAP reclaim, continuation to the pre-market. Great pre-market trade. I personally did not catch that on on that pre-market. Just I think I scalped a few times, but I didn't really fathom. I mean, trade the whole bunch. Obviously, it was very early. I think it started at 7, and then just gap up to the intraday open, and then just flush it back down. Wasn't do too much. And just consolidation, hold this VWAP level pretty much. And one big interesting thing that I really like about this one, I think Elev had, yeah, traded over 66 million on just Friday. So no news. They have no news, no, just the volume surge, short to squeeze kind of setup. They have over 73% toots, institutional ownership, and they do have S3 and at the money offering in place. So you got to keep that in mind. And they already reached to their 52-week high, which is 510 on average, and they're at that 589. So what I'm looking is basically just seeing if we're going to have. I mean, this is like a multi-day runner. Third day definitely we're gonna see the flush back down. Possibly there's a chance of dropping the price. But if this consolidation continues, we're expecting a lot of shorts to squeeze, cover pop, and back holders. They want to deep buy that. So you gotta consider those people to drive the price to the higher level. I mean, the max kind of resistance that I'm looking is at 602 level, $6 range. Not a lot of rewards left. Obviously, excuse me. Still, a range to look at if it's gonna really top ticket or break out of this and get above. Pretty much, I have this 747 above that, and this can really squeeze it up if the volume continues. I mean, based on volume prediction, we can kind of see that the stock can kind of I mean, how it can really react on the upcoming days on Tuesday, basically. If there's nothing else going on, obviously this is a number one to watch. I mean, I just like this, consolidation stuff. I couldn't find any news on it, so that's kind of like a main watch for Tuesday. It can create so many scalp opportunities on both sides, on the long side here and then the short side. But in general, these are, I think the company is a healthcare biotech. So yeah, that's like number one. And then I have LEDs. LEDs. This one. The reason I put it here on the main watch because I traded short on the second day short, and that was a very good trade, personally, but not a lot of reward that I more wanted to accumulate and um, expected. I was expecting this to kind of like really gap down to that $1 range, $2 range, but that didn't happen. Hold this 250 level pretty much. This was also LEDs was a sympathy play for Thursday right after Nvidia, and the Nvidia earning was a killer. Everyone talked about that. Nvidia had this massive earning that really affect all these semiconductor and cheap stock. LEDs is also a cheap stock. It's a semiconductor um, sector. So yeah, that creates that gap on Thursday on no news, just the sympathy kind of insider activities and bunch of people like hopeful that, oh, if Nvidia is up, this is gonna go to the moon as well, which is a bad idea. When a lot of people get into the trap, they buy top here and they think that, oh yeah, same sector, cheap companies are gonna go to the moon. You gotta keep that in mind. Not every sympathy plays are good. Although it's a really good day trade opportunity when there's a sympathy play with the bigger cap or larger mega cap kind of company. We had these type of stocks in the past. I can't name of anyone, but I'm sure that I personally traded so many of these sympathy play. There was a trend back in a few years ago. It was only like sympathy plays. So you get like so many sympathy plays back to back. I think DWAC had sympathy play. If you guys, if I recall it, I will recall DWAC, DWAC. There's so many sympathy play that during that time frame, and lots of people got into the big FOMO, missed out this DVAC run, and then they just got into like sympathy looking, and then just try to pump the other part, but they didn't have any credential or any valuable, I guess, news or background compared to DVAC. But that was like the idea. I mean, this is like the whole concept of it. We got to keep that in mind. Liquidity is the issue still. You cannot really drive a $2 stock near the $300. I mean, it's possible. We've seen those stuff happen in the market, but you gotta look at the date. You look at the what's going on in overall market, where the money's at. So yeah, LEDs I put it up there just because of that. I didn't trade the top. I mean, right after the sympathy, I didn't trade long. In the afternoon, they ran up pretty much, and then after hour hit a new high. I think that's like their 52-week range, 428, pretty close into that. And the second day short only worked for me. And despite they have at the market offering and S3 in file, they have so much cash. So yeah, not sure how they're gonna execute that one, and how is that gonna really affect their cash position and overall price. But yeah, it was a really good short setup, and I'm looking at this to see if Obviously, if there's going to be a volume surge into this, and there's definitely a possible gap up to this 348 range, and we would have to see what's going to happen with Nvidia. Kind of look at that one as well, to see how the price really act, and possibly this Nvidia kind of really affect all over the market pretty much, and the tech sector as well. Um, so yeah, I'm looking to see if it's gonna really gap up, and kind of a continuation. But that's like the least you can expect for of these tickers. So yeah, these are the main watch lists. And let's get to our back pocket watch list. And back pockets are more interesting, in my opinion, because there are relatively fewer or more than the main watch. Obviously, I mean the front pocket. So yeah, AVRO. I have this one. They have an announcement. A therapy program for 87 million. So they did pretty much faded after they announced they came out with the news. Pretty much faded and into this kind of like a lower price range. I believe that AVRO has some sort of S stream file. They have at the market offering. They have a shelf offering as well. So yeah, I mean they're not gonna really announce it, but this could be um, a price surge as well. Another one. I mean they had like 85 million shares traded on Monday. That's what happened. 85 million shares over there. So that's relatively big compared to their. It's actually not as big because they have like 42 million, so they're a very slow mover. So you got to keep that in mind. But I have it on the back pocket to see if it's gonna get some sort of volume and activity to the top, and this could be a really good short if it's get above that 139 level, and possible first resistant kind of activity, and then flush back down. And then I have MBOT. I think we had MBOT the first week of May, I believe. But yeah, MBOT ran up again on Monday. Huge gap up, but flush back down. I put it in the back bucket because I'm expecting some cover pop activity, some small range to the upside. Could be a really we had a really good trade if it really gets volume. They're low float relatively, and they had a recent news. Lahey Hospital Medical Center agrees to become one of the U.S. sites for Liberty. Whatever. So it's a biotech. It's a healthcare, and I have it on the back pocket. I like the range on the technical side. They really create that first kind of resistance, gap down, and consolidation. Hold this level of $2 pretty much, $2 range, and then going back down. So if this $2 holds, it's probably can gap up a little, but you would have to see if volume really comes down to this one. Just something to keep it in the back pocket. And the next one I have SHPH. This one had an earning to SHPH. Their earning was better, but whatever. Who cares about their earning for these garbages? SHPH, low float again. I think they have they have only 60 million market cap. I think IP also include resale prospect. I think they are. Not sure if they are IPOs or yeah, they just do the IPO again, delist it, come back again. Um, they do have warrant convertible, no offering I see. So yeah, I mean, I put it in the back pocket because it was a runner on Tuesday. Sorry, that was a kind of like a gap up push. I think they had this news before their earning. Um, yeah, and then after the earning, gap up again, short back down, and possible just continuation to the downside in my opinion, but we'll see how it goes just in the back pocket. And then I have OCEA. OCEA was another offering type of thing. I think they had offering announced edition. Oh yeah, they added to the Russell 2000 index, so that's kind of the headline for them. That is why they had. Yeah, I think this came out May 25th. May 25th was Thursday, but they ran up on Tuesday, so you can see that kind of a gap range, but on a low volume, just because of that headline, but nothing too much. So I have it in the back pocket to see if it's really gonna get this push, like the first screen day. Um, not sure what day they have that day. I think they announced award novel cancer, and all those funny headlines sometimes, and they get this really gap up. This was actually a huge gap up from $5 to $12. Spread was huge. So yeah, OCEA, there's 170 million market cap, 8 million float, 99% institutional ownership. So you got to keep that in mind. That's actually huge. No, I don't see any offering in file, and that's just not out of the. It's just out of the thought. So we're not gonna really look for that. So OCEA, I'm looking for that, possible run again if it's ever gonna happen. And then ENVB, I traded this one as well. This was a good one. ENVB, they had news with the notice of allowance of form, patent kind of news. Yeah, this one also. Biotech 1 million float, market cap only 7 million. Huge. Um, dilution right after here, and then first gap on Wednesday. Kind of like create that. Really manipulated the stock pretty much. But created that gap, break out of this downtrend, and then just kind of like getting above that 440.50, 448. So yeah, just something to keep that in mind and watch it on the back pocket as well. ENVB only they have everything. They have shelf as well. So yeah, so that's kind of like a if they're gonna really announce any sort of raising, they're probably gonna pump the price. So you gotta keep that in mind. But yeah, that's as far as they only have 5 months left on for their cash. So yeah, they probably need money at some point. So you gotta keep this on watch if you wanna possible create a trading plan on that. EEIQ, low volume, not a lot going on. There's an educational group. They have recently had this offering in file, so have this on watch. Very low volume, lots of barcode activity, which I don't really like. But they just gapped up into this pre-market and quickly went back down. So I think there's like more stuff going to we're going to see with this one possibly. I don't like the sector. Obviously, the market cap is 29 million. They have shelf, and um, yeah, they have like 363 range on that 52 week. Not a lot of institutional ownership, so yeah, I mean this could be a really good short setup if it's gonna really get back above, but I'm not gonna be too excited about this one if this volume is just gonna fade out like this. But yeah, just something to keep that in mind. And then I have MEOA. I think MEOA was halted due to some problem with the business information. Nasdaq put a halt on this one. This was a big one. We had a huge squeeze and pump, massive one. I mean, this lots of halt activity, halt festival. I think the stock went from 11 to 43. That's a huge. Yeah, right after the IPO, MEAO. So what I see in their headline, it's their financial share company. They only have 700,000 share float on a 104 market cap. So I mean that's pretty pretty low. Tiny micro float is micro float, and you don't really want to get into this. But obviously, it's a scalp opportunity. But I don't like the stock that has halt festival. It's like getting halt quickly and keep getting halt. That's obviously not my favorite. But we had this called pretty nicely, and a bunch of you guys are traded this one and had a successful trade on it. But be careful. You don't want to really get greedy. Just enjoy the ride and just take your profit. This is one of those stocks that you really want to just be able to just get traded and then just leave it, whatever it's going to happen. You don't want to really hope and hold. And you also want to make sure to use the hotkeys on this one. These are pretty fast. You're not going to get the market execution too quick if you don't have a right setup on your platform. So yeah, that's one thing. MEO, I think they have. I put it on the watch list because they have a meeting of shareholder on May 31st. So there's possibility of an unhalt situation after their meeting. So I have it on the watch list. See what's going to happen. It's going to really trigger the scanner, and unhalt again because a lot of people are already stuck in this one with their money. So yeah, but possible dilution after unhalt. They're probably gonna sell the whole bunch of these, and then this can really gap down easily. So yeah, one thing to keep that in mind. And then I have the last one is WLDS. This is actually a very interesting one. I was looking at their product. I think they have these wearable devices, wristbands that connect to your Apple Watch and just kind of like track. You can kind of like motionally use your finger to move things or draw things on your iPad or computer or whatever. I mean, this is a very like cool product, but obviously the company's trash. Not a lot of value. But 5 million floats, really gapped up. They had this headline for the wristband for Apple Watch. You gotta understand these keywords doesn't necessarily means that there's like some sort of partnership. People get to kind of that mindset that if they use they selling the device band for Apple Watch, that means that they're gonna partner with Apple. No, that's not a case at all. If you see Apple partnership, that is different scenario. But when they use these keywords, people get into the hype. Oh yeah, there's Apple. Let's buy this forever. Bunch of these, hold these forever, and then they get screwed, just like that. So you gotta understand what's the press release. Read the press release correctly. read the catalyst, um, exactly what they're saying. So that's kind of the thing. I mean, you can kind of create a wristband, and then it would be compatible with Apple Watch. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're partnered with it. So keep that in mind. But I have it on the watch list overall. On the technical side, stock is doing pretty good. Try to reclaim the VWAP. See what's gonna happen to this. Not a lot of institutional ownership, 10% only. Um, they have this $5 kind of range to the 52. Obviously, it's less likely to happen, but keep that something to keep on watch. I don't think if they're gonna really offer too much. I mean, that's like a big news. Could be a really good short setup if it's really gonna get to that $2 range. So yeah, keep that in mind. They do have, I think they have of 16 months of cash left, and they don't have any offerings in place. So yeah, that's it for this week weekly watch list. So hope you guys enjoy it. And lastly, I will send out, because I discussed this before. I will send out the Discord feedback. So I'm trying to get your feedback if we should have a Discord running. So some of you can interact with each other. Share your thoughts on specific stocks or not. So let's see how it goes. I really want to get the feedback, and if some of you guys, my members, are agree on that, I will go ahead and set up a, run the Discord. But definitely, our scanner will be on Telegram only, and Discord will be kind of like a more of a more as educational, and me commentary and all that. So yeah, let's see how this goes. And I will send out the form so you guys can vote for it. It's like a poll. So I want to see how many of you guys are interested or not interested. Because Discord, I mean, maybe some of you guys are not able to create an account, but it's a lot easier. You can use that as well. So let's see how this goes. Anyway, team, hope you guys enjoy this weekly watch list, and benefit from it. And let me know if you have any question, or reach out to support if you have any question. Talk to you guys on Tuesday, trading day. So I will be gone I'm traveling this Monday, so I will be gone. But I will still send out the top gainers as well, and watch list. So, but I might not trade that much. So we'll see how it goes. Take care, team. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and ready for Tuesday.